Today's news highlights 20250804. Date August 4, 2025. Republic of China August 4, 114. Time cutoff, 1500 hours on the same day. News focus: sweet potatoes are rich in nutrients and are known as one of the best vegetables, and traditional Chinese medicine believes that they can nourish the spleen and stomach, increase qi, and are especially beneficial for people with weakened stomachs. Chinese medicine practitioners recommend replacing sweet potatoes with snacks, which can help detoxify and improve children's allergies. Eating sweet potatoes in the morning has the best absorption effect, and should be avoided in the afternoon to avoid sugar accumulation. When eating, avoid eating persimmons to avoid gastrointestinal problems such as stomach stones. News focus: 74-year-old ageless yoga grandma Chen Donglian, who was originally troubled by allergies and body stiffness, could not even touch her knees, but after contacting chair yoga, she not only improved her physical fitness, but also obtained a yoga license, becoming a role model for promoting mature sports. Chair yoga has gentle movements and is suitable for both seniors and beginners, helping to improve flexibility and health. Experts suggest that regular exercise and a high-protein diet, such as whey or soy protein, can help delay muscle loss and keep you full of energy and confidence in your mature life. News focus: a U.S. congressional investigation found that Harvard University has cooperated with the organization department of the CPC Central Committee for more than 10 years to train future leaders for the CCP, raising national security concerns. 3 Republican lawmakers sent a letter to the president of Harvard, asking for all documents and lists of interests to cooperate with the CCP by August 7. The report pointed out that some of the training was conducted on the Harvard campus, and the partners included the Xinjiang Corps, which was sanctioned by the United States. Lawmakers emphasized that they will continue to investigate to ensure that the CCP cannot infiltrate the U.S. academic system. News focus: the Krashenikov volcano in Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula erupted on the night of August 3, the first eruption in about 600 years, with ash columns as high as 6,000 meters. The local uninhabited area was not affected, but the aviation alert was upgraded to orange level. A magnitude 6.7 to 7.0 earthquake also occurred in the Kuril Islands on the same day, the second in a week, and there was no tsunami warning for the time being. Experts speculate that the volcano and seismic activity may be related to the magnitude 8.8 earthquake that occurred on July 30, which has triggered a series of geological reactions. News focus: the initial imposition of a 20% tariff on Taiwan by the United States is a temporary tariff rate, which is actually a means of bilateral negotiations. The China Economic Institute pointed out that the key to the future lies in Taiwan's investment in the United States and whether semiconductors and ICT products can be included in the 232 tariff package negotiations to avoid double burdens. Historically, the United States has negotiated with Japan and South Korea and other countries to invest and purchase large amounts of money in exchange for lower tariffs. If Taiwan cannot properly handle the island's politics and deliberations in the Legislative Yuan, it may affect Taiwan-US cooperation. On the other hand, transmission products such as screws and hardware are facing tariff pressure, and the supply chain may have the risk of outward migration and chain breakage. News focus: Taiwan stocks faced 5 major variables in August, including peer tariffs, 232 survey results, July revenue of listed counters, second quarter earnings report and Nvidia earnings report, and the market expects a trend of first shocking, then firm, with the index fluctuating range of 22,000 to 24,000 points. The legal person pointed out that the AI group will continue to be the focus of the market, and the most critical is the US 232 survey. If semiconductors impose tariffs of up to 25% or even 35%, it will severely damage the overall market confidence and corporate profits. News focus: affected by the US peer-to-peer tariffs and the weakening of the economy, consumer electronics demand has weakened, and the buying momentum of PCs and smartphones in the peak season has not been as expected, dragging down semiconductor orders. Although TSMC is supported by AI and high-speed computing, about 40% of its revenue comes from consumer applications, which is still impacted. The legal person estimates that TSMC's revenue in the fourth quarter will be lower than that in the third quarter, which may be the first time in nearly a decade that the fourth quarter is not better than the third quarter. Although growth remained optimistic throughout the year, the fourth quarter could not hit a new quarterly high, reflecting market concerns about tariffs and economic uncertainty. News focus: after returning to Taiwan, Zhang Lijun, deputy head of the administrative agency, said that Taiwan-US tariff negotiations are still ongoing and will continue to strive for more favorable tax rates. The United States originally planned to impose a 32% tariff on Taiwan, but after several rounds of negotiations, it was temporarily reduced to 20%, which took effect on the 7th, and it is still not the final tariff rate. The two sides have completed technical consultations and are awaiting a summary meeting. President Lai Ching-te stressed that the Taiwan authorities will strive to protect the industry, and the administrative agency has prepared a special budget of 93 billion yuan, which is to be reviewed by the Legislative Yuan to help the industry cope with the shock and maintain international competitiveness. News focus: the housing market has entered a bearish, and the price of pre-sale houses has seen a wave of correction, with 591 statistics among the top 10 districts with price declines in the second quarter, the central and southern regions accounting for 7 districts, and Xianglan Township, Hsinchu County, ranking first with a decline of nearly 20%. Dawen Longtan, Taichung Qingshui and other protein areas were also revised down by more than 10%, mainly due to the market becoming more conservative, investment ebb tide, and sluggish buying sentiment. Kaohsiung Nanzi and Kwoto have cooled down due to the theme of TSMC's factory setup, and housing prices have pulled back significantly. Experts pointed out that if builders do not reduce prices and make profits, selling pressure may increase in the future, and they will eventually face the choice of price for volume. News Focus: The United States finally decided to impose a 20% reciprocal tariff on Taiwan, which was lower than the original 32% but still higher than 15% higher than Japan and South Korea, which put deep pressure on Taiwan's machinery and machine tool industry. After the 90-day moratorium ended, the industry faced the dual impact of tariffs and the sharp rise in the Taiwan dollar, and profits shrank sharply. The Machinery Association called on the government to continue to negotiate a reduction in tax rates, and proposed project financing plans to help enterprises turn over cash flow, while strengthening domestic demand promotion and industrial transformation and upgrading to avoid Taiwan's manufacturing from falling into competitive difficulties and ensure the long-term and steady development of the industry. News Focus: Taiwan's semiconductor industry has tripled its output value in the past 14 years, exceeding NT $5 trillion in 2024, but it is facing a serious talent gap and a declining new population. The report of 104 Manpower Bank and ITRI pointed out that the semiconductor industry recruited more than 34,000 talents in a single month, with a low supply-demand ratio, and some vacancies could not be filled even 4 out of 10, especially the largest gap in maintenance jobs. As the industry enters the post-war era, the future needs multiplicative talents with front-end and back-end integration and cross-border capabilities. At the same time, in the face of international talent competition, Taiwan's salary has surpassed Japan, striving to become a global semiconductor talent training hub. News Focus: The United States announced a 20% equivalent tariff on Taiwan, which is lower than the original 32% but still higher than the 15% in Japan and South Korea, which has greatly increased the pressure on Taiwan's machinery and machine tool industry. After the end of the 90-day moratorium, the industry faced the dual impact of tariff capping and the sharp rise in the new Taiwan dollar, and profits shrank sharply. The industry calls on the government to continue negotiating lower tax rates, while promoting project financing support and expanding domestic demand to help companies cope with exchange rate fluctuations and market challenges, and maintain Taiwan's manufacturing competitiveness. News Focus: Alaska Governor Dunleavy announced that Taiwan plans to purchase 6 million tons of natural gas from the state, the largest LNG order in history, and has become a key option in the US-Taiwan tariff negotiations. The natural gas will be transported to the liquefaction terminal via a 1,300-kilometer pipeline and is expected to be exported to Asia from 2030 to 2031. The cost of pipeline construction and natural gas prices are expected to be determined by the end of this year. In addition to meeting Taiwan's energy needs, the plan has a short voyage and avoids geopolitical risks, and the United States may even send warships to escort it. Taiwan's natural gas purchases will more than triple from $830 million to about $3.6 billion. News Focus: After a week of heavy rainfall in Taiwan, the rain gradually slowed down, and the Central Meteorological Administration today issued a special report on heavy rain in 5 counties and cities including Kaohsiung and Pingtung, but the overall rainfall trend has decreased, and it is expected to return to sunny weather from Wednesday. Zheng Mingdian, head of the meteorological department at the front desk, released last night's rainfall map, showing that the rainfall in Taiwan has decreased significantly, which has moved the people who are suffering from flooding. The meteorological department reminded that there is still a risk of localized heavy rain and mudslides in mountainous areas, and called for safety. The coming week will be mainly cloudy to sunny, and the temperature will gradually rise, reaching a maximum of 34 degrees or more during the day. News Focus: On the evening of the 3rd, there was a refusal to inspect in Xinzhuang District, New Taipei City. An actress Ho Kinja was stopped by the police for driving a white BMW for failing to comply with the signal, but refused to stop and accelerated to escape. The police checked the car for no contraband, suspecting that she refused to inspect for fear of being warned, and was transferred for investigation on the basis of obstruction of official duties and road traffic management violations. Ho Kinja accused police officers of collectively beating in May this year, and the police said that at that time, they would deal with it in accordance with the law because of their video obstructing official business. News Focus: Chen Baiwen, the anti-communist internet celebrity Southern Fujian Wolf, announced on the 3rd that he had broken up with his comrade in arms Bajiang, accusing the other party of becoming more and more extreme, and even imitating the Nazis to manipulate the mood of the masses, believing that it is necessary to stop losses. In this regard, Bajiang apologized, saying that the Nazi remarks were self-deprecating in private, and admitted that he felt powerless in the face of labeling from the outside world. He said that the result of the recall made him uncomfortable and that he would be more cautious in the future, no longer hide his emotions with anti-strings, and revealed that he would reduce offline activities, but continue to produce films. He emphasized that he just wanted to speak up for the volunteers, admitted that he was wrong and willing to improve. News Focus. In response to the 20% tariff imposed by the United States on Taiwan, Taichung Mayor Liu Zhihuan invited the heads of 8 counties and cities in Taiwan to hold an online meeting on the 3rd and jointly proposed 15 response plans to the central government, including continuing negotiations to strive for lower tax rates, stabilizing the exchange rate, preparing a special budget, distributing 10,000 yuan in cash, protecting agriculture, disclosing the content of negotiations and industrial lists, and dispersing overseas orders. Liu Zhihuan stressed that the double disaster hit the export industry in the central region, and the central and local governments need to work together to help the industry tide over the difficulties. A number of county mayors are concerned about the impact on agriculture and manufacturing, and called on the government to put forward specific countermeasures as soon as possible to protect the rights and interests of industry and labor. News Focus. Legislator Luo Zhiqiang accused director Nine Knives of quoting the line of the character Liza in the cartoon Hunter on the eve of the recall vote, implying that he was an outsider and criticizing Nine Knives for being unkind and domineering. Nine Knives retorted that the screenshot of the cartoon is to express the meaning of expelling unqualified cheaters, not against Luo Zhiqiang himself, emphasizing that he is just to fight against the bad legislators who expand their powers in violation of the constitution, and calls on the outside world not to misinterpret them, and believes that good people should be tougher in the face of bad people. The two sides clashed again due to political positions and rhetoric, and the recall turmoil continued to ferment. News Focus. South Korean actor Song Young-kyu was found dead in the car on the morning of the 4th at the age of 55. Shocking the entertainment industry. Police confirmed the death and investigated the cause of death, and he was arrested for drunk driving in June. Song Young-kyu became popular with the role of squad leader Choi in Can't Miss the Opportunity, and also participated in well-known dramas such as Please Answer 1988 and Voice, and is a familiar face in Korean dramas. The specific cause of death remains to be clarified. News Focus. The legendary British orchestra Oasis Choir, Oasis, held a concert in London on August 2, and a tragic incident occurred at the scene. A man in his 40s fell from a height and died of his injuries after being sent to the hospital. Police appealed to witnesses and spectators who filmed the scene to assist in the investigation. Oasis and Wembley Stadium both expressed their condolences and expressed their deep condolences to the families of the deceased. News Focus. Internet celebrity Manon Wolf accused his comrade-in-arms Ba Jiang of imitating the Nazis when he pushed for the recall, and the emotional control led to the extreme of the movement. In this regard, Ba Jiang made a film today, 4th, to apologize, admitting that he had laughed at himself as a Nazi due to pressure, but he felt deeply inappropriate and sincerely reflected on it when reminded by a friend. In the face of the failure of the recall, he said that he would adjust the method and reduce offline actions in the future, but still adhere to the anti-communist stance and continue to produce relevant films. News Focus. Dai Kai-wen, a 32-year-old Taiwanese-Pakistani mixed-race host, was sexually harassed by a strange man in the shower room of a well-known gym a few days ago, and later angrily called the police and posted a complaint on the community, admitting that he felt very dirty. A longtime supporter of the Lgya and community, he was deeply shocked by the incident and still emphasized that he would not be shaken by individual actors. He called on those who encountered sexual harassment to bravely seek help, and has notified the police and the gym, and the case continues to be followed. News Focus. The Taiwanese drama Zero Day Attack was on the list yesterday, 2nd, when it was broadcast on My Video, and the plot focuses on the choices and struggles of characters from all walks of life in the last 24 hours of the war. Starring Janet, Lian Yuhan, Zhuang Kaixun, and Ho Yangzi shared interesting stories about filming and real reactions to the war. Zhuang Kaixun prepared a disaster package to prepare for war, which caused the actors in the same play to joke and ask for retraction. Janet plays the female president and revealed that she had filmed in the presidential palace and military bases. The whole play combines information warfare and human challenges to resonate with the audience. News Focus. 43-year-old female artist Ho Kinja refused to be stopped by the police in Xinzhuang, New Taipei yesterday, 3rd, evening, drove into a police officer and fled, and was finally rounded up and suppressed and arrested. During the process, she became emotional, constantly struggling and shouting "I can't breathe." The police arrested him for obstructing official duties and reported traffic violations. In recent years, Ho Kinja has repeatedly been controversial, accusing the police of beating and illegal smoking during travel, which has aroused social concern. News Focus. Numerology expert Yu Yang pointed out that the top 3 zodiac signs with the best fortune on 8/3/8/9 are the rat, horse, and dog. The rat's career, love, and wealth have reached 5 stars, innovation and hard work have been recognized, peach blossoms are prosperous, and income has increased significantly. The horse's career performance is eye-catching, the relationship is sweet and stable, and there are also opportunities for property ownership and financial luck. The dog has the help of noble people, strong interview luck, good financial luck and popularity. On the whole, the top 3 zodiac signs have ushered in a double harvest of career and interpersonal relationships, and are suitable for active action to seize opportunities. News Focus: the 57-year-old host Shen Yulin fell ill and was sent to the hospital a few days ago, and it was reported that she had explosive hepatitis and pancreatic cancer, but her friend Pan Ruati denied it. Zheng Qiuchen admitted that he and Xiao Zhong could not be contacted, and there was no response to his concern about his condition. Nai Yun said that he did not notice anything unusual when he met a few days ago, and only felt that Shen was too thin, and called on him to slow down and take care of his body. Shen Yulin was once known for her high publicity volume, and the outside world was deeply concerned about her health. News Focus: the Taiwanese drama Zero Day Attack was on the list yesterday, 2nd, when it was broadcast on My Video, and the plot focuses on the choices and struggles of characters from all walks of life in the last 24 hours of the war. Starring Janet, Lian Yuhan, Zhuang Kaixun, and Ho Yangzi shared interesting stories about filming and real reactions to the war. Zhuang Kaixun prepared a disaster package to prepare for war, which caused the actors in the same play to joke and ask for retraction. Janet plays the female president and revealed that she had filmed in the presidential palace and military bases. The whole play combines information warfare and human challenges to resonate with the audience. News Focus: recently, the Luzhou branch of the Dawin City Police Department announced 9 common fraudulent call starts, including +886, +86, +0, +2, +03, +67, +102, 886, and 0886, calling on the public to be vigilant. The police stressed that the Procuratorate will not handle cases by phone or request remittances or delivery of property, and should immediately hang up and dial 165 for verification if there is a suspicious call. Netizens also enthusiastically shared their anti-fraud experience, reminding that not answering unfamiliar numbers is the key to self-protection. News Focus: the Central Meteorological Administration said that the rain in the central and southern regions will continue until Tuesday, as the southwest wind weakens but still brings heavy rain, and the Pacific high pressure strengthens from Wednesday, gradually reducing rainfall and returning to typical summer weather. However, Zheng Mingdian, former director of the Meteorological Bureau, reminded that the seasonal change is still early, and the southwest monsoon will temporarily move north, and it may still return in the future, and central China, North China, South Korea and Japan will also be affected by rain, calling for post-disaster recovery work not to be relaxed. Wednesday to next week will be mostly sunny and hot, with local thunderstorms in the afternoon. News Focus: American Taiwanese singer Ma Ji Huang Liken, significantly increased his position in Ethereum, ETH, Hype, and Pump in the currency circle in the early morning of the 2nd, trying to amortize the cost, but encountered a market crash, and stopped at 5 o'clock in the morning to lose about $18.5 million NT $550 million, and the account still lost more than $149 million. Previously, in June, he made a profit of $6.5 million from Hype and was known as a legend in the currency circle, but gave up all the profits within 2 months. Experts remind that high leverage trading is risky, and even veterans find it difficult to avoid violent fluctuations. News Focus: the latest UK study found that moderate consumption of coffee and tea can help reduce the risk of osteoporosis. An analysis of nearly 480,000 adults showed that drinking 1 to 2 cups of coffee or 3 to 4 cups of tea per day had a lower risk of osteoporosis. Those who drink coffee and tea at the same time have a reduced risk of about 32%. Nutritionist Hung Tai-Hung pointed out that although caffeine may increase calcium loss, the polyphenols and phytoestrogens in coffee and tea have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects, helping to maintain bone density. It is recommended to drink 1 to 2 cups of coffee and 3 to 4 cups of tea every day, and pay attention to calcium intake and moderate consumption, and consult a doctor if necessary. News Focus: 43-year-old Mr. Zhao had pain in his left abdomen for more than a month, and he thought it was indigestion, but after examination, he was diagnosed with stage 3 rectal cancer. Physician Cai Daji pointed out that rectal cancer is showing a trend of rejuvenation, and the symptoms are easy to be misjudged, such as changes in bowel habits and abdominal distension. Dr. Tsai reminded that lifestyle habits such as insufficient intake of high-sugar drinks, fried foods, and fruits and vegetables can easily increase the risk. The Ministry of Health and Welfare has lowered the screening age for colorectal cancer to 45 years old, and those with a family history can start screening from the age of 40, calling on the public to seek medical attention as soon as possible if they have abnormal symptoms to avoid delaying treatment. News Focus: the U.S. Trade Representative, USTR, announced that Taiwan will apply a temporary tariff rate of 20%, but this is a temporary measure until the agreement is completed in the White House executive order on July 31. Some people quoted USTR Representative Greer as saying that the tax rate is basically determined to question our statement, but the actual document clearly points out that Taiwan is a country that has agreed to or is close to completing the trade agreement, and the tentative tax rate is only a pre-agreement stage, and there is still room for adjustment in the future. The executive order also stipulates that the new tax rate will take effect 7 days after issuance and cover goods within a specific transit time. News Focus: affected by the southwesterly airflow, heavy rain in Tainan continued, and Li Yingzhen, the mayor of Wenchun village in Baimen district, angrily criticized the government's ineffective disaster prevention through Facebook Live broadcast, saying, "What disaster prevention? Prevent you from dying," and opened the drain gate to drain the water by himself. The Tainan Water Resources Bureau then clarified that the gate was not opened immediately due to high tide to avoid seawater backflow, accusing Li of making false remarks. Li Yingzhen did not publicly apologize after being slapped in the face, but deleted the live video, which caused netizens to criticize him for being irresponsible, and DPP legislator Wang Dingyu also condemned his behavior for hurting Tainan's image. News-focused Taiwanese writer Nine Knives is famous for works such as Those Years, The Girl We Chased Together, and recently quoted the line of the anime Hunter, "Shout out to unqualified cheating players." Book. Please leave outsiders, triggering a counterattack from Kuomintang legislator Luo's Haiqiang. Luo criticized the Nine Knives for bullying people and not defending democracy, while the Nine Knives responded from the air, "The bad guys are fierce. Good people are more fierce." He also emphasized that the bad legislators who unconstitutionally expanded their powers indefinitely, called on democracy to protect democracy, oppose fake accounts and internet armies, and advocated unity to safeguard national defense and democracy. News Focus. The United States announced on July 30 that it had reached an agreement with South Korea, in which South Korea pledged to invest $350 billion in the United States and purchase $100 billion in energy products, while fully opening the market to tariff-free. Korean media quoted Song Seung-hyun, head of McKinsey Korea, as saying that the South Korean economy has long been under pressure from China's rise and is threatened by U.S. tariff bombs. He suggested that Korean companies focus on high-value-added industries such as biotechnology, energy, aerospace, and AI, and called on the government to break rigid regulation and revitalize entrepreneurship in order to turn the crisis into a turning point. News Focus. South Korean cheerleader Kim Do-ah joined the Siddiq brothers' Passion Sisters and attracted attention with her high-slit Cheongsam dance. Star Chen Chinwei has been photographed many times in the lounge and on the sidelines to enjoy the performances of Jin Tae-woo and other cheerleaders, which caused his girlfriend to tweet and the cheerleading agent to be dissatisfied, and even came forward to sanction. Chen Chinwei's private conversation with Chirp was exposed, and the two humorously interacted in response to the heated discussions among fans, and the good sister also interjected that she would deal with it later, which made netizens laugh and say that Chinwei is miserable, and the scene was funny and lively. News Focus. Internet celebrity Chao Ji, Huang Bacheo, was sentenced to 6 months in prison and fined for injuring internet celebrity Toys, Lu Wujian, on the street in January last year. Despite the lawsuit, Chao Ji is still active in the community, personally showing off his teppanyaki cooking skills and skillfully handling abalone dishes, and has been praised by professional chefs as a good student. He interacted humorously and invited fans to taste it, sparking heated discussions and showing his active side of promoting the restaurant. News Focus. The White House announced on August 1 that Taiwan's temporary tariff rate would be 20%, and U.S. Trade Representative Greer said that this tariff rate has basically been set and is unlikely to be adjusted in the short term, sparking discussion. People familiar with the matter clarified that Greer was referring to countries that have not resumed talks with the United States. Taiwan is an Appendix I country of the executive order, and is still negotiating with the United States, and the tax rate is a temporary measure until the agreement is completed. The negotiation process is subject to strict confidentiality and will not be submitted to the legislature for review until an agreement is reached. People familiar with the matter stressed that it is meaningless to compare tax rates with Japan and South Korea, and Taiwan still has room to reduce them. News Focus. At present, there are 2 typhoons in the Northwest Pacific, Korisa and Bailu, both located in the sea near Tokyo, moving east-northeast, and have no impact on Taiwan. Meteorological experts said that as the southwest wind gradually weakens from the 4th to the 5th, the Pacific high pressure will cover Taiwan from the 6th, bringing stable weather. It is also expected that there is a 60 to 70% chance of forming a tropical depression over the eastern sea of the Philippines in about 10 days, and the public can begin to pay attention to the development and movement path of subsequent tropical disturbances. News Focus. After YouTuber couple Andy broke up with Jianing, financial disputes broke out between the two companies, Kunhai Entertainment. The new Taipei District Prosecutor's Office investigated and found that Jianing's family of 4 was suspected of embezzling about 44.27 million yuan of Kunhai's income and evading taxes by about 16.09 million yuan in hedged wages, and was prosecuted for business embezzlement, breach of trust and tax evasion. The prosecution pointed out that Jianing's mother, Zhang Shuai, as the chairman, argued that the money was the filial piety fee and rent paid by Andy, but in fact the company's registered address was Zhang Shuai's home, and another company under the name of Jianing's father, Zhang Quilong, was also registered at the address. News Focus. Summer laundry should pay attention to exposure and cleaning techniques. Japanese finisher AICO reminds that strong sunlight can easily fade dark and printed clothes. It is recommended to choose a ventilated and cool place or indoor drying. Keep the distance between clothes. Turn heavy clothes over to hang. Towels are staggered at both ends, and it is best to limit the sun to a short period of time in the morning and put away clothes early. In summer, the sweat is heavy, and the washing machine capacity should be 7–8%, and rinse twice to prevent yellow spots and odors. In case of stubborn sweat stains, you can soak in oxygenated bleach with warm water at 40-50 degrees C for 30 minutes to 1 hour, and then wash it off to help remove sebum and sweat stains. News Focus recently, a photo of 2 women dragging an extra-long suitcase taller than an adult in the crowd went viral on the internet, triggering heated discussions, with some people jokingly calling it like a mobile coffin or dragon boat, but insiders pointed out that this is actually a long storage box designed for Guhan. The photo was first circulated in Hong Kong communities and was confirmed to be highly consistent with the Guhan box sold on Douyin. Professional netizens said that similar long boxes are also often used for ski equipment or fishing rods and other equipment, calling on netizens to understand more and less ridicule. News Focus mung bean soup is the first choice for cooling in summer. In addition to cooling off, it also has high nutritional value. Bariatrician Xiao Jijian pointed out that mung beans have a much higher protein and dietary fiber content than white rice, and the glycemic index is only 1/3 of that of white rice, which helps stabilize blood sugar, lower cholesterol, and reduce visceral fat. Mung beans contain resistant starch and phytoestrogens, which support gut health. It is recommended to replace granulated sugar with monk fruit sugar or stevia to reduce the calorie burden. It can be made at home by soaking in a rice cooker or quick soup cooking or stir-frying, and adding a little salt can speed up the cooking, which is simple and healthy. News Focus August 7th, leap June 14th of the lunar calendar, ushered in the rare beginning of autumn on the same day, which is an excellent time for good luck. The day of amnesty is the only auspicious day for God to forgive sins, which is suitable for repentance of mistakes, resolution of grievances, replenishment of treasury and prayer for blessings. The only taboo is killing, and life must be cherished. The worship time is recommended between 5 a.m. and 3 p.m., and the best auspicious time is before 9 a.m., with offerings including tea, fruits, red hair cakes, longan, etc., and after completion, the confession and gold paper are incinerated to symbolize the rebirth of the shell. The beginning of autumn solar term adds auspiciousness, helps regulate yin and yang, improves wealth and health, and reminds you to repent first and then seek luck, which is more effective. The next double auspicious day will have to wait until 2051. News Focus former professional baseball star Guo Duqi is still active in the baseball world after retiring, but recently he was exposed to cheating on many daughters after a second divorce, not paying off debts and abandoning his children, and even stealing subsidies, causing his daughter to take a leave of absence. Guo was accused of often disappearing to be helped by his ex-girlfriend, and had complicated relationships with many women. Guo denied cheating and abandonment, emphasizing that he only had online dating with female reporters, saying that the debt had been repaid by agreement, and that his daughter's leave of absence was a personal plan, not due to arrears. This incident has sparked heated discussions among relatives, friends, and netizens, and the truth still needs to be clarified. News Focus affected by the policies of the Taiwan authorities. A well-known builder of the Taichung coastal line announced on July 31st that it would suspend all projects due to difficulties in capital turnover, apologized to the third party, and promised to hold a coordination meeting within 3 months. The company has a total of 4 construction projects in Shailu, Longjing, and Yunlin in Taichung, affecting about 100 residential and factory offices. Experts pointed out that small real estate enterprises are facing sales difficulties and bank loan stucks, and the problem of capital chain breakage is intensified, which is more serious than the low tide of the housing market in 2016. News Focus the recent outbreak of Qigong's disease in Guangdong, China, with 2,892 new cases in the past week, and more than 6,900 local cases, the US CDC has issued a level 2 travel warning. Qigong disease is transmitted by Aedes aegypti mosquitoes and white-spotted mosquitoes, and symptoms include high fever, severe joint pain and rash, and there is no specific treatment, and some patients may have long-term complications. Taiwan's Ministry of Health and Welfare recommends that passengers choose accommodation with screen windows and air conditioning, wear long-sleeved light-colored clothes and pants, use effective mosquito repellents, and monitor their health independently for 14 days after returning to Taiwan. News Focus during the second wave of Mercury retrograde from July 2025, an 8.8 strong earthquake off the coast of Russia triggered a tsunami, and central and southern Taiwan was hit hard by a century of heavy rain. Astrologer Li Jingui warned that Mars is in opposition to retrograde Saturn and Neptune in August, indicating frequent natural disasters and the risk of energy accidents, and reminding people in disaster areas to pay attention to epidemic protection. She pointed out that the conjunction of the Sun and the malefic star in mid-August may cause political scandals and turmoil, tearing social self-worth, and increasing mental illness and social cases. Venus enters Cancer at the end of August, and people are eager for healing and care, and hope that political leaders will show great love to protect the country. News Focus rapper Daji released Spicy on the eve of the 726 recall, with lyrics criticizing the Kuomintang and Mayday, believing in music, and triggering political associations. Kuomintang legislator Wang Hongwei questioned that the large branch company received more than 20.29 million yuan in government subsidies in 4 years, but used public funds to write songs and scold the opposition party. The song reflects personal experience and social observation, is not a recall song, nor is it aimed at a specific target, and it takes 3 months to produce. He thanked the criticism and promised to be more open and diverse in the future, emphasizing that the goal of the project is to take root in the local area, connect generations, and provide a stage for rap. News focus. After the defeat of the 726 recall, the internal review of the Green Camp was high, and Yu Yinglong, chairman of the Taiwan Public Opinion Foundation, named Shen Boyang, a member of the Green Committee, as a war criminal and called it a shame of the DPP, which triggered a strong backlash from the leader of the strike, Cao Xingcheng, and the two sides exchanged fire in the air. Su Fu, Deputy Secretary General of the People's Party, said that the odds of winning the 823 recall are low, and it is difficult for the Green Camp to get rid of the strike, but it is held hostage by the strike, which may lead to the shrinkage of the Green Camp. He described the DPP as facing the dilemma of tail-wagging dog, with Li Qiang in control of most of the supporters, and the Green Camp will continue to fall into a crisis of internal and external troubles. News focus. At 9 p.m. on the 3rd, a van behind the fish market in Nanliao Fishing Port, Hsinchu City, was suspected of reversing carelessly, and the whole car fell into the sea. After about 2 hours of search and rescue by police, fire, and rescue personnel, a 56-year-old male drowning man was found near the vehicle at 11:41 p.m., and he was obviously dead. The police are clarifying the identity and cause of the accident. News focus. This week, 8/3/8/9, numerology expert Yu Yang pointed out that the 3 zodiac signs of the rat, horse, and dog have the best fortune, and career, love and wealth are all eye-catching. The year of the rat has a major breakthrough in their careers, sweet feelings, and rolling wealth. The people of the year of the horse successfully won important cooperation cases, happy love, and strong financial luck. People in the year of the dog get good opportunities, have a smooth relationship, and have high financial luck. Other zodiac signs need to work harder or adjust their strategies to improve their fortune. News focus. In recent years, the sudden appearance of black lines on the nails often raises concerns about cancer. Nutritionist Hong Taexian pointed out that most linea nigra is benign due to pigmentation, but if the line nigata darkens in color, increases in width, has irregular edges, or spreads to the surrounding skin, accompanied by nail deformation and pain, we must be wary of rare and dangerous subnail melanoma. Trauma, drug side effects, and chronic diseases can also cause linea agra. It is recommended to seek medical attention as soon as possible if there are abnormal changes to ensure early diagnosis and treatment. News focus. Wu Junli, the wife of Nobel Prize winner Li Yuanzhe, died of pancreatic cancer on July 12 this year at the age of 90, and was cremated on August 3, without a memorial service. The two are classmates in elementary school, have been married for more than 60 years, and have 2 sons and a daughter. Wu Junli has long taken care of her family and often accompanied Li Yuanzhe to important occasions and played an important supporting role. The husband and wife are deeply in love and touching. News focus. Actor Wu Qilong debuted from The Little Tigers and won fans with his handsome image. Recently, he recorded the program Long Seeing the World in Yunnan, mainland China, not only interacting enthusiastically with the local people, but also dancing square dances in Qihu Park and Erhai Lake, showing his energetic side. Although the image is more handsome than in the past, it is still appreciated by netizens for its people-friendly and well-maintained skills, and its complexion and spirit are very good, which has become the focus of heated discussions. News focus. A netizen shared that when taking a taxi in Kyoto, Japan, the driver Tetsuo Matsumoto enthusiastically recommended the attractions, and did not charge the fare when he got off, and showed a letter of thanks. The letter said that Tetsuo Matsumoto has not charged Taiwanese passengers for 9 consecutive years because he is grateful for the selfless assistance of Taiwanese people during the tsunami and earthquake disasters in Japan. After the touching story was exposed on social media, it received nearly 20,000 praise and messages, and the driver's kind deeds were touching, and more people felt the depth of Taiwan-Japan friendship. News focus. Postmenopausal women are prone to high blood pressure due to estrogen deficiency. Geneticist Zhang Jiaming pointed out that the latest study found that standing up 26 times a day can reduce diastolic blood pressure by 2.24 mmHg and systolic blood pressure by 3.33 mmHg within 3 months. This action promotes leg muscle exertion and blood circulation, stimulates blood vessels to release nitric oxide, helps blood vessels dilate and delay aging. It is recommended to stand up multiple times a day, such as watching TV, drinking water, and standing when answering the phone, to easily protect blood vessels and stabilize blood pressure. News focus. Executive Agency spokesperson Li Huizi said that the White House issued an executive order on July 31 to reduce Taiwan's tariffs on the United States from 32% to 20%, but this is a temporary tax rate because the Taiwan-US trade agreement has not yet been completed, and the two sides will continue to negotiate to strive for better conditions. The U.S. Trade Representative also revealed that future tariff agreements may be adjusted, depending on President Trump's decision. The administration is also reviewing the island's $93 billion support package to help industries and workers cope with the new trade environment. News focus. MSCI will announce the quarterly adjustment results in the early morning of August 8, effective at the end of August 26. Unified Investment Advisory predicts that the equity weight of Taiwan will increase slightly, and Chuanhu, 2059, Chroma, 2360, and Jingxiangdian, 2368, have a high chance of being included in the constituent stocks. However, Shinkongjin has been delisted, and Baokeng, 9904, and Runtaxin, 9945, are at risk of being removed due to the continuous decline in market capitalization rankings. Recently, Taiwan stocks have outperformed emerging markets, and the market capitalization and free float ratio of a number of stocks have increased, which may lead to changes in this adjustment. News Focus: the U.S. reciprocal tariff on Taiwan is tentatively set at 20%, but negotiations are still ongoing, and future tax rates may be adjusted. Coupled with the increase in policy uncertainty due to the Section 232 investigation, short-term Taiwan stock shocks are inevitable. Experts predict that the index will be tested between about 23,000 points on the monthly line and 23,943 points on the previous high, and reminded of 4 waves of key pressure levels, including monthly, quarterly, annual and semi-annual lines. If the negotiations are favorable, Taiwan stocks are expected to challenge the high again. Optimistic about AI, semiconductors, PCBs, and high-value-added industries, as well as domestic demand tourism, finance, and raw materials and other groups, it is recommended to buy on DIPs and take profits on highs. News Focus: due to difficulties in capital turnover, Hezong Construction announced a complete suspension of work from the end of July, and will hold a project fund coordination meeting within 3 months. The company focuses on the Taichung Sea Line market and has a number of large-scale construction projects, which have attracted attention due to the sudden financial crisis. Experts pointed out that due to the impact of restricted loan policies and the downturn in the housing market, small and medium-sized builders are facing the dilemma of not starting work and waiting for death, starting construction to find death. The problem of capital chain breakage is common and increasingly serious, which has spread from individual cases to industrial crises, and the difficulty of pre-sale cases and the phenomenon of capital chain rupture continue to ferment, which may make the housing market more severe in the second half of the year. News Focus: Tainan's time-honored Donglei Advanced Barbershop has become popular on social platforms in recent years with retro black and white decoration and one-stop hairdressing services, with more than 4.3 million IG video views, attracting a large number of young people to check in and experience. Founded in the 1970s, it was once a high-end barbering place where gentry gathered, providing a full range of services such as hair cutting, facial trimming, face application, shoe shine, etc., and the unit price of customers was as high as 650 yuan that year. With social changes, the number of old customers has decreased, but with its unique experience and affordable price, Donglei has successfully attracted young people and restored the elegance of traditional hairdressing. News Focus: Taiwan plans to purchase 6 million tons of natural gas from Alaska from 2030, the largest order in the history of LNG sales. Alaska's North Slope region is rich in natural gas resources, which will be transported to liquefaction terminals through about 1,300 kilometers of pipelines and then exported to Asia. In addition to meeting Taiwan's energy needs, this move is also of strategic significance, as Alaska's natural gas voyage is short and avoids geopolitical risks in the Middle East and the Strait of Malacca. With the deepening of US-Taiwan tariff negotiations and energy cooperation, Taiwan's LNG imports from the United States are expected to increase from $830 million to $3.6 billion, an increase of more than 3 times. News Focus: OpenAI recently launched ChatGPT's Agent Mode, which allows users who subscribe to Pro, Plus, and Team plans to let AI perform tasks directly on the website, such as restaurant reservations, movie tickets, news organization, and presentation production. When using it, the AI will be performed in a virtual environment, and will pause for user confirmation when encountering a login or important decision to avoid mistakes. Actual measurements have found that AI can complete many life tasks, but some steps still need to be manually intervened, and login verification is sometimes blocked. The free plan is not yet available and takes a long time, so it's a good idea to try simple and clear tasks first, and pay attention to personal data security. News Focus: the Legislative Yuan passed the special regulations on strengthening the resilience of economy, society, people's livelihood, and national security in response to the international situation, stipulating that 10,000 yuan in cash per person will be distributed by the end of October this year. Although the administrative agency has not yet announced the detailed collection methods, it is expected that online registration, ATM cash collection, post office counter collection, direct account entry and distribution in rural areas will be adopted. Eligibility includes domestic nationals, those without household registration but with residence permits, as well as mainland, Hong Kong, Macau, and foreign spouses. However, the administrative agency pointed out that some provisions are unconstitutional, and will propose constitutional interpretation, and may add a wealth exclusion clause, and the amendment is expected to be sent to the Legislative Yuan for consideration on the 7th. News Focus: due to heavy rain in Kaohsiung, the main roads outside the country were blocked by floods and rockfalls, and about 1,600 residents were unable to enter and exit like an island on the 8th day of class suspension. District Mayor Kong Xianja and his team waded through the water to inspect and ventured to find alternative agricultural roads, but most of the roads were flooded and muddy, and vehicles were in danger. The delivery of materials was difficult, and the vehicles were once stuck, and the lives of residents were in trouble. The district mayor called for improved weather and hoped to resume traffic and allow residents to return to normal life as soon as possible. News focus: the high-speed rail bridge near Fuan Bridge in Zaitan District, Taichung City, was photographed by the public with suspected cracks, which attracted the attention and notification of netizens. Taiwan High-Speed Rail Corporation clarified that the crack is actually a watermark caused by recent rainfall, which is a normal phenomenon, and the bridge structure is safe, and passengers can ride with peace of mind. The high-speed rail emphasizes regular inspections of bridges across the line and has a disaster warning system to ensure safety. DPP legislator Cai Kikang also confirmed that it was a false alarm, thanking the people for their enthusiasm to inform the public, but emphasizing that the appearance is very similar to a crack. News focus: the new Ching'an policy in 2023 stimulated the housing market to buy gas, and many people rushed to buy houses, but they were in trouble after the implementation of the central bank's loan restriction order in 2024. The 37-year-old Xiaoan was looking forward to starting a family smoothly with Xinking'an, but encountered a shrinking loan, originally expected to be able to borrow 80%, and finally only approved 70%, facing a $1,000,000 funding gap. Many first-time buyers and house changers are also stuck, unable to afford or refund, and fall into the dilemma of being caught between builders and banks, and the policy shift has made dream buyers victims. News focus: a supermarket on Nanyang Road, Fengyuan District, Taichung City, reported a murder at 10:27 a.m. today, 4th. A 57-year-old man surnamed Zhang was suddenly stabbed by an unknown person with a sharp weapon while shopping in a supermarket, causing multiple stab wounds on his hands and feet, bleeding profusely, and losing signs of life. News focus: artist Xu Zikan shared a certain abdominal pain experience, thinking that it was just menstrual discomfort, still exercising and gathering as usual, but the pain escalated, and after going to the emergency room in the middle of the night, he found out that the cyst ruptured caused abdominal bleeding, and emergency surgery was treated. She admitted that she was in so much pain that she couldn't tell whether it was sweat or tears, but fortunately, she was treated immediately. After the operation, she found that her menstrual pain improved significantly, and said with a smile, "Now menstruation doesn't hurt," and also reminded everyone not to ignore the warning signs of the body. News focus: South Korean cheerleading goddess Lee Do-wai will step into the film industry and star in the horror film Zinhai Tunnel, cooperating with Soo Ruok-suan as mother and daughter for the first time. Lee Do-wai came to Taiwan as a cheerleader in 2023 and quickly became popular with her friendly image and high popularity, with more than 1 million IG fans. In order to enter the theater, she actively learned Chinese and experienced Taiwanese life, and finally realized her wish to jump from the court to the big screen. Although she still has an accent in Chinese, she admits that she will challenge roles that are close to her personality, and will not consider large-scale performances for the time being, showing her ambition to enter the entertainment industry. News focus: mainland actress Zhao Lucy and the agency Galaxy Cool Entertainment were involved in a contract dispute, and opened a live broadcast on the 3rd to respond to the turmoil, emphasizing that they were not crazy and had no intention of quarreling, and only hoped that the company would respond positively. She admitted that if she could not terminate the contract peacefully, she was willing to fight the lawsuit until the end, and even be mentally prepared not to be able to continue her acting work. Zhao Lucy sold wontons in Taiwan when she was in college, and she has early entrepreneurial experience and shows an open-minded attitude, which makes fans feel both distressed and admired. News focus: this week's horoscope enters the last week of Mercury retrograde, and old people and old things emerge, which is suitable for reflection and sorting. Mars enters Libra on Thursday, and there may be breakthroughs in the professional field, but we should also be careful of occupational accidents and superficial and peaceful conflicts. The opposition of Mars and Saturn may trigger camp antagonism and potential attacks. In terms of constellations, Taurus, Scorpio, and Capricorn need to face pressure and challenges. Virgo, Aquarius, and Sagittarius have positive performance and noble luck. Relationships require special attention to communication, misunderstandings, and self-reflection. News focus: recently, the second wave of 823 recall cases has attracted much attention, and when the recall group preached in central Taiwan, musician Su Xiaohua's speech caused controversy, saying that voters were very stupid and must have a low style to win, and advocated the production of wisdom reduction picture cards for the election, which attracted Kuomintang legislator Su Kioxin to counterattack. Voters think you are stupid. This remark aroused criticism from the blue and white camp and netizens. Su Xiaohua emphasized freedom of speech and choked back that the picture card is super useful. The dismissal case smells of gunpowder, and political confrontation heats up. News focus: Kuomintang legislator Wang Hongwei questioned that local rapper Daji, Zheng Guanrong, received more than 20 million yuan in subsidies from the Ministry of Culture and the Stock Exchange in 4 years, and revealed that Daji was also an executive member of the Chinese Cultural Federation, accusing him of being a player and referee. She criticized Mr. Wen for asking the stock exchange to donate subsidies to Daji Music Studio, and did not avoid suspicion and fear of profit-seeking, and pointed out that a number of cultural people who supported the removal of cultural people also served as members of the General Committee of Wen, questioning that Mr. Wen had become Mr. Lai. Wang called on President Lai Ching-te to come forward and explain not to shirk responsibility. News Focus: a 24-year-old female student at Chongqing Medical University in China became popular on social platforms because of her resemblance to the late Taiwanese actress Da.S. Su Ziwan. She has been sharing photos since July 23, attracting 28,000 followers in just 11 days, and more than 100,000 likes on her posts. Netizens exclaimed that she and Big S not only look similar, but also have very similar temperaments. In this regard, she said that she did not deliberately imitate, nor did she have plastic surgery, just an ordinary student. Big S passed away due to illness in February this year, representing Meteor Garden and so on. News Focus: Harvard astrophysicist Loeb pointed out that a mysterious interstellar object called 3I/Atlas is approaching the Earth at high speed, and is expected to approach it in November, and may be an alien spacecraft, causing heated discussions. The object has a diameter of about 19 kilometers and a speed of up to 96 kilometers per second, and its retrograde orbit is unusually accurate to the Earth's plane, with a natural probability of only 0.2%. He called on NASA to find a way to respond and warned of the threat it poses. However, most scientists believe that the object is just an ordinary comet and are skeptical of Loeb's extraterrestrial hypothesis.